In Egypt, there's no effort in that area at all. Because you don't even see that many Africans. You have to go far south in the Aswan region before you really see any significant number of Africans. And there's very few that know much of anything about old Nubia. You know, Elder Hamdi is one of the only elders that really knows the story. And this past summer, when we were with Elder Hamdi in the village, somebody asked, Elder, are you passing this on to people? He said, not really. Only those who really want to learn and come to learn. He doesn't just share. He's like all the elders in African tradition. If those are not worthy to receive the information, they don't give it. The elders would rather pass away than share it with people. Even if it goes on, you name it. You name it. Australia's the same thing. So it's not much in Kemet and in the Sudan. It's interesting because the people don't really focus on African Arabs so much in most of the country. I don't know about Darfur. But what we hear about in Khartoum and the south and the north where I was, it's not like that. You have people that are more, I mean, they'll embrace Islam. But they also, for example, they saw me as a brother. I mean, the kind of hospitality was amazing. They didn't see me as a non-Muslim. The only time that even comes up is if you're dealing with a marriage situation. Then they would say, well, you know, this person's not Muslim. I don't know if they can marry my daughter or my sister or something like that. But just in everyday dealings, it's not even an issue. The whole thing has to be reconceptualized. It really does. I think what we learn here, I'll give you an example of misinformation. I talked to a prominent Muslim leader in Chicago before I left. I didn't think I was going to get the visa anytime soon. He said that the Merowe Dam and the relocation and the archaeological sites being flooded, he said none of that was true. None of it. So I sent this guy an email and showed him that the Sudanese government-owned website has the relocation areas, the groups that have been invited in to do excavations, and the dam. The only thing that the government didn't include were the numbers involved. But this brother said none of it is true because for him, if you criticize the dam project, that means you're against the government. If you're against the government, you're against Islam. So what is this guy talking about? How did he leap all the way over there? But he leaps to amazing conclusions. I said, wow. So I was glad to have that conversation and know there's that kind of misrepresentation there. To say that none of it's true. If you say that, well, maybe it's not 70,000, maybe it's a different. No, he said, no, none of it's true. But this is what we're dealing with. But anyway, so his perception has nothing to do with what I saw at all. It is a reality. But I just think people have to be a little bit more cautious when they're quoting people about the Sudan because, like, you know, you let a writer, they would include my colleague's family as Arab. The family you saw. You know, this is how the misclassification. He's Muslim, but you'll never know it. You know why? Because that does not create any barrier in how he deals with Africans. None at all. So anyway, it's a lot. It's complicated. It's very complicated. But I think we can get a version that's not really the whole story. Just to be straightforward as I normally am, African scholars here are doing nothing. It's not their concern. They're not going to deal with it because if they start talking about it, it means they have to do something about it. And, you know, you can check it out. I'm just telling you straight. When the question was asked, they're not doing anything about it. Because, like, for example, you can ask, okay, how many of you have gone to the Sudan? Not you, but you can ask that of the scholars, because people will take tours all the time. And tours have their place, but what are you doing on the tour? You know, like even the tomb images, the temple images, folks, I can show you video and footage that the walls are being systematically de-Africanized. But yet you have people that will go every year and have said nothing and have done nothing about it. Back in '94, when I first saw the destruction of the images, the inscriptions, the erasing, the systematic erasing of paints, I contacted everybody that has led tours or were leading tours, and it was one common response. And you know what that was? It was not to respond. It's not to respond. So if you go to my website, manuampim.com, you see it. I have a whole Vanishing Evidence of Classical African Civilization series, and we've had nobody to join us in that to really help stop the destruction of the monuments. One thing about it is that, as some of you may not have gone, to the young people, when they, in the next 10, 20 years, there'll be a lot that they can never see. Because I can't see things in 2007 that I saw just in the late 90s. They're not there anymore. because they're being destroyed even as we speak. And you know what? You know what's shocking about this, folks? Is that as people go by, tourists go by, tour groups go by, tour leaders go by, everybody sees a scaffold. But nobody would assume that somebody in broad daylight would destroy, with one vicious stroke of the hand, artifacts that were constructed thousands of years ago. Just one stroke of the hand and it's gone forever. They see the rubble, they see the white Portland cement, the buckets, they see the tools, the scalpel, but most people never even pay any attention to it. But yet everybody, when it's pointed out to them, they say, you know what, you're right. But no one's done anything about it. Now, I'm not being general, no one has done anything about it. They might be sympathetic, but you figure, now you all know, you know better than me in this area, how many people have gone to Kemet, right? Some of you have gone. Well, I say when you went, who pointed out that this needs to be dealt with? So I can't, so what I've been doing is working with the people on the tour to keep drawing attention to it and challenging those people when they're out in the field causing destruction. And hopefully if more people know about it, then more of us will do something about it. When I was in the Sudan, there were hundreds of black folks in Egypt at the same time when I was in the Sudan. But no one was doing any field work. So I'm just saying that conferences and those things, they're okay. But why should we allow the artifacts and the evidence to totally disappear? And it's disappeared in our lifetime. So I'm just saying I respect what people have done. But to me, the most important project is to try to save what the ancestors have left. So I've had to put some things on the side to at least alert people. And let me just tell you one other thing. I got a call from a brother from Vancouver yesterday. He said, brother, I found your work. I was searching the internet. It's phenomenal work. He gave me a list of people to contact. We got to get your work out there. He gave me a list of prominent people. I said, I'm not doing that. And you know what? The amazing, he said his field is marketing. Now, his field is marketing. He's saying this is important work that more people need to know about, but yet he's calling me to give me a chance. I said, brother, I've tried that when I came back, when I was overseas. I came back in 90. Contacted everybody that I could think of, and nobody responded. So I said, I've done that. I said, you can spend your time and become a professional marketer, just trying to get support, or you can just keep doing the work. I said, that's the job of somebody like you. You see the need to do it. You're in marketing. I said, I'm not doing that. I said, I would never even consider what you're saying. I'm open to it. If I'm going to contact big media people and people with money for, and I said, no, the public needs to do that. I'm doing the work out in the field. I tried that, listening to bad advice in the early 90s, spending days and days finding people and sending emails. We didn't have emails, sending letters, calling people, only for them to say the same thing. We can't do anything about it. Or not to respond. So you need to do that.
Come on.
I'm not going to do that. They're going to call me from Canada with that kind of agenda. What is this? But that's where we are. So I got to do everything now.